homes. But they're just left-wing acolytes pushing this. What about the Trotskyites becoming the neocons, Glenn? Let me tell you who's at the top of the pyramid. And I want to do a whole presentation on this. I've done it before, but I want to do in the next few weeks, who the true puppet masters are and really create a pyramid graphic that shows the different blocks. And they compete with each other at the top. But more powerful than the little low-level communists, because the globalists have to control the full field. They've got to have fake right-wingers and fake left-wingers. They've got to try to infiltrate the libertarians. They've got to try to gauge and control all opposition. But at the very top of the pyramid is the private Federal Reserve that is part of this global banking cartel, the 6 major banks that can issue unlimited currency and credit. That's who our forefathers from Andrew Jackson back to George Washington were fighting. Read their writings. This is nothing new. Same old fight we've had for 235 years. Same people that run the third world countries into the ground. Give them $1 billion loan, they end up paying back $50 billion, they owe another $50 billion. It's a total scam. This is what we're going into. This is what Ireland's going into with their interest rates going up on their national debt. George Soros in the pyramid is not even up near the capstone. He's a globalist, he's an operative, but above him is Henry Kissinger, Zbigniew Brzezinski, George Shultz, the Bush family, the Clintons. They are just management team front people, though. So you've got the pyramid. In fact, just give me a document cam shot. I'll just draw a crude drawing of this, okay? Here's the pyramid, okay? Not even a good pyramid. Okay, here it is over here. How's that? Here's the pyramid, okay? And up at the very top of the pyramid, you've got the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the Saxe-Coburg-Gothas. That's the British royal family. The Dutch royal family, also Saxe-Coburg-Gothas. You've got the Oppenheimers. You've got the Brothmans. There's less than 100 families at the top who are the robber barons. The Astors, all of them. They're all intermarried. When you study these groups, right here at the top, they are all intermarried. Just like even at the lower levels, the Bushes are all intermarried with the Clintons and the Cheneys and the Kerrys. Now, way down here in a lower strata, you've got Henry Kissinger, you got George Soros, you got Zbigniew Brzezinski, you got George Shultz, you got the Bush family, you got the Clintons, and they are social climbers. Notice that the Clinton daughter, Chelsea, married into one of the big mega banking house families. She married into Goldman Sachs, because up here you've got all these families. But right up here at the top is the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the British royal family, and they're all intermarried now. That's how the Rothschilds are lords. They're all right up here at the top. And they will go into other countries and team up with the Lee family that's run China for hundreds of years, with the Mitsubishis, with the Hondas, with others. And so up here, you've got all these elites, and the British Empire was the model for covert control. That's who the puppet masters are. That's who controls the strings into the nation states and the petty regional elites. And all these petty regional elites, they get invited to CFR meetings, Trilateral Commission meetings up here in the next to the highest strata. They get invited up here to feel like they're all powerful and they're special. And so as this ruling elite at the very top set up their world government, set up their Agenda 21, set up their world rules, set up their world armies, set up through IMF and World Bank control of the nations, all their domestic police states that are over every country, they also bought up the media now to 6 big mega companies other than alternative press, and they're getting scared trying to start beating the drum to shut down alternative media because we're exposing the real pyramidal structure. So George Soros is in the bottom layer of the next highest level to the capstone. You got the capstone with the royalty, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the less than 100 top families, the Astors, the rest of them, the Bundys, the DuPonts, they're all up here. And the DuPonts are at the very bottom of the top capstone. As you go up here, it's Rothschilds, Rockefellers, British royalty at the very tip. It's all compartmentalized. You look at Bohemian Grove. It's a pyramidal structure with 114 camps in it. And Mandalay, the most elite camp, has the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers in it. Below that, then they have camps with the Kissingers and the rest of them. And I mean, and then people who are just CEOs of billion-dollar companies, they've got to sleep on cots. They don't get lavish, log cabins with servants, but they're happy because they get to talk to these guys. And then these guys on top, they get to then influence peddle and compromise all these guys, the same model they use with nations and countries and corporations. And let's say somebody comes up with a corporation, makes a bunch of money, a few $1 billion. They just come in and buy them off, or if they can't buy them off, they kill them. So that's the real puppet masters, not George Soros, who in the pyramid is way down here at the bottom of the second level strata from the top. He's in the servant class. I'll come back and cover more of this. Glenn Beck, you're welcome to use this, okay? I dare you to talk about the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the Queen of England. I dare you to do it, buddy. Okay, there it is. Real simple. Took about 4 minutes. There's the real pyramid of power. There's the real puppet masters. But I think we're going to go into even more detail in the weeks to come. George Soros has been convicted in foreign countries. He's a globalist, but he's kind of a black sheep, so that's why he's allowed to be scapegoated, and he's certainly a horrible creature. But I went over this power structure, this pyramid, but let me show you a photo of Arnold Schwarzenegger as he was running for governor at the palace of Lord Rothschild in England. And so there on one side, you see Lord Rothschild with the two puppets. You've got, of course, the owner of Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett there, who's a high-level puppet, but not in the top capstone. You've got Schwarzenegger, one of the minions that they were grooming. Okay, so there you see Lord Rothschild on the right-hand side of your TV screen with two of his minions. That's the pyramidal structure from top down. That's a microcosm. Let's go to another photo. And we'll continue to show you globalist here, people that are at the top of the capstone. There's the Queen of England. They have all this media about how she has no power and all this. The lady owns much of BP, much of Dutch Roll Shell. She's cousins with Queen Beatrix. She owns weapons manufacturers, you name it, just untold wealth. She makes Bill Gates look like a pauper. Sachs, Coburg, Gotha, they give you a brand name because 200 years ago, the British didn't like having German royalty ruling them, so they changed their name to the House of Windsor. Okay, let's go to another photograph. So that's top of the capstone. There's Queen Beatrix, probably as wealthy, but it's a state secret in the Netherlands, probably as wealthy. Her cousin, Sachs, Coburg, Gotha as well. Her Nazi daddy, Prince Bernhard, top eugenicist, founded the World Wildlife Fund. Now, that's a top globalist, the top of the pyramid, and the head person at the Bilderberg Group. Okay, let's continue looking at who actually runs things. There's David Rockefeller. He's been called the omnibudsman of the New World Order. He's written books admitting he wants world government and the end of U.S. sovereignty. Okay, that guy is in the upper reaches of the very top of the capstone. That's the main Rothschild agent in the U.S. There's David Rockefeller right there, and they've intermarried with the Rothschilds and others. Now, at the next strata below them, at the super gopher imperial legate level, that's kind of the Darth Vader to the emperor, even more high-powered than Henry Kissinger or somebody like Soros. There's the big new Brzezinski. Okay, that's somebody beneath the highest capstone, but who the elites actually listen to when adjusting policy. So, in a way, he's got as much power as the top of the capstone because he's in there making decisions. Very powerful. In fact, he's almost a transition from the servant elite to the owner elite. He's almost in between because he makes so many decisions. Let's show you some more images here. I mean, we could show these to you all day long. And this is how they control society. And they had thrown the globalists down. 1832, the British set up Skull and Bones. Then they set up CIA out of that. Then they developed these families like the Tafts and the Bushes and others to be risen up throughout the power structure. So there's a smattering of, Paul Volcker and Ben Bernanke. They're minions. But if you look at number 3 there, there's one of the Rothschild family heirs. Number 3 on your screen is the father of David Rothschild. Next to him is David Rockefeller. This is what somebody's put up as their idea of the power structure. I don't know if I completely agree with that. That Lloyd Blankfein there and Ben Bernanke are even that high up on the food chain. Certainly a Kissinger or a Soros or a Volcker are making big decisions as economists for the globalist, or a Larry Summers, number 10, but no, they're certainly not that powerful on the scale. Two different separate animals, two separate groups. But again, I'll leave you with the pyramid drawing I did as we end this transmission. Coming up, I break down all of the incredible news. FEMA camps confirmed. Glenn Beck admitting that the government may stage terror attacks.